So what happens when a sacred text that's over 1,400 years old crashes into 21st century live streaming? Well, today, we're going to take you inside a live online Quran session to see exactly how this ancient tradition is being kept alive and thriving one pixel at a time for a classroom that spans the entire globe. And really, that's the big question, isn't it? How do you teach something so timeless using tools that are so now? We're about to see how tradition and technology are merging in some really surprising ways. This isn't just about broadcasting a lesson. It's about building a living, breathing community around precision and shared learning. So, let's step inside.
Okay, so let's set the scene. We're tuning in to a live lesson from an instructor named Muhammad Ramadan. He's teaching Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the second chapter of the Quran. But here's the thing, his students aren't in a room with him. They're scattered all over the world, all connected right through their screens.
And right away, you realize this is so much more than a simple read-along. The whole lesson is anchored in this rigorous science called tajweed. You can almost think of it like the physics of recitation. Every single sound, every letter, every pause has a precise rule. It's a discipline where how you say it is just as critical as what you're saying. And this is a moment of pure teaching genius. To explain a really tricky pronunciation for something called thin letters, he doesn't get bogged down in technical jargon. Instead, his advice is simple. It's physical. He just says, smile into the letter, and boom! Just like that, a complex rule becomes something you can feel and actually do. It's a brilliant little hack that makes this ancient text accessible to anyone, anywhere. And here we see it in action. He hears a student make a really common mistake with a "k" sound, and he jumps right in. He gives immediate, super specific feedback, and what does he do? He brings it right back to that simple tip, smile into them. This is a live, interactive correction happening in real time, across continents. It's amazing. The technical deep dive keeps going with another rule called idgham. Basically, this is where two letters in a row kind of merge into one single stressed sound. It's like turning a T and another T into one super T. He's showing his students how to blend these sounds seamlessly, turning the recitation into this flowing piece of art, all through a digital screen. Okay, so you have all these complex rules, but how in the world do you make them stick? How do you make them second nature? Well, that brings us to the real engine of his teaching method, memorization through powerful, structured repetition. This is how the knowledge goes from just being in your head to being in your heart. The whole process is incredibly systematic, almost like building with sound. He'll introduce a little phrase, drill it a few times. Then he'll introduce the next little phrase and drill that. And then he puts them together. It's literally like building with Lego blocks of sound. This piece-by-piece approach makes memorizing these long, beautiful verses feel totally manageable, almost meditative. You can almost feel the rhythm just looking at the text. It's this steady, hypnotic cadence. The instructor repeats each part, and you can just imagine thousands of students all over the world in their own homes repeating it back. And that's the magic right there. It transforms staring at a screen, which can be so passive, into this active, shared experience. The repetition isn't just for memory, it's for participation. But you know, the technical stuff, the recitation rules, that's really only half the story. If you glance over at the live chat, you see where this session really truly comes alive. This is where a one-way broadcast just blossoms into this vibrant global community. See? The instructor isn't just some disembodied voice from the cloud. He's a host. He actually pauses the lesson to greet people by name. Here he asks Mr. Ali where he's from. He hears Iraq and gives this incredibly warm, personal welcome. He's actively building connections, person by person, across thousands of miles. And the chat just lights up with people from all over. What you're seeing here isn't just a list of places. It's the instructor actively weaving a sense of place and belonging into the lesson. Just by asking, "Where are you from?" he transforms what could be a lonely screen into a shared, welcoming space for everyone. And the community building doesn't stop with greetings. In a move that's pretty remarkable, the teacher actually uses his platform to promote one of his own students. He shares a link to the student's new channel. Just think about that for a second. He's not just teaching, he's mentoring. He's building a supportive ecosystem, not a competitive one. And this proves it's not a one-way street. The teacher actually stops to ask his students, "Hey, how's the lighting?" It seems like such a small thing, but it speaks volumes, right? It shows he sees them not as a passive audience, but as active partners in making the whole thing work. So we've seen the technical precision, the teaching method, the incredible community. But the way this lesson ends is with something completely unexpected. It's a moment where all the technology just fades away, and you're reminded of the very human person at the heart of it all. Right in the middle of the session, the teacher shares this. He admits that he's feeling really unwell, but he showed up to teach anyway. In that single moment of vulnerability, the whole dynamic of the room shifts. It's no longer just a teacher and his students. It's just a group of people connected by this moment of raw, human honesty.
Shortly after that apology, he tries to keep going, but he just can't. The lesson doesn't wrap up with a formal goodbye. The broadcast just stops. His sickness becomes too much to push through, and the live stream cuts out.
And that just leaves us with this final thought. We saw a masterclass in using modern tech to teach an ancient text with incredible precision. But what was the most memorable moment? It wasn't a rule of recitation. It was a moment of human frailty. It really makes you wonder, in a world that's getting more and more digital, what's the real value of that irreplaceable, unscripted human touch?